100%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles. Yes. The synopsis just isn't good.
This former independent ranch foreman.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
This is my favorite part of the show. Welcome to What Was That Called Again? I'm Thomas.
I'm Will.
And this is a movie game show where I select 3 movies and read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will, who then has to try to match the plot description with the correct title. And then afterwards, he tries to guess the ranking of the 3 movies based on their IMDb star rating. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm good. This is a new year for us. Is this the first time we've recorded in this new year? Maybe.
I think so, yeah.
I think it is. So
I think it is.
Happy 2025. We're in the future. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm good. Let's see here. 2023, I had back pain issues. I had a cold. And 2024, we're starting off with the intense excitement of possible computer chair breaking mid-recording. So we'll keep you updated. If you hear a loud thud, listeners, that's me falling on the floor. So
yeah, everything, pretty much all technical issues and anything that's going wrong is pretty much all on Will's side of things every time.
And I found out that like if I move my microphone just right, all of a sudden this deep, abysmal hum starts happening. So I also have to replace a cable eventually. So yeah, so this is starting off great. I'm feeling good. I'm just wanting to, I think, reset the score chart for 2024. Come in strong. Now, of course, the listeners have heard us so far in this wonderful new year. But for us, as we record, I want to start off this new year strong. So I hope I can. That's my wish. I have a very alcoholic beverage, and I'm ready to go.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. I think we'll have an interesting one here tonight, and so we'll see. We'll see how it ends up for you.
All right.
And then if you are ready,
I'm ready.
We can go ahead and dive right in.
Hit me.
All righty. The first one for us, recording in 2024. You're going to kick off.
Oh, wait. All right, pause. I
Yes.
almost forgot. We almost forgot. This is incredibly important. We have to update our listeners on our IMDb saga with Beguiled, Bejeweled, Bedazzled. What was the movie?
Every single week, you can't remember the name of it. Begotten.
That's what it is. Begotten. Yes. So, as listeners might know, we tried to change the synopsis for Begotten for one that we created that had nothing at all to do with the actual movie Begotten. How has that worked, Thomas?
I have checked it periodically every few days over the past every week since I've submitted it, and to this day, which is we're recording this on January 14th, 2024. IMDb refuses to post our synopsis that we had made.
I need everyone to write their congressman and demand that IMDb change this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're just cowards.
For some reason, and we don't, if maybe a listener can chime in, email us. We have an email address. Let us know, is there a secret to changing IMDb synopsis? Are they really that stringent about what they allow? I mean, which is great. I'm not knocking them if they are actually checking this stuff, but we submitted it. We got
twice. I've submitted it twice now.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you resubmitted. And both times, correct me if I'm wrong, you got an email that said something along the lines of, like, we will contact you within a certain amount of days.
It is, it's not an email. It's just after you submit it, it takes you to a screen that says you should hear something in the next 1 to 10 days, something like that.
And you've not heard even anything as far as, like, denied.
No.
So we don't know if we're hitting a roadblock somewhere, or if they just see the attempt and they're like, no, this ain't happening. we got to dive deeper on this because I would still like to go back, and I can't remember off the top of my head what movie it was we were supposed to add the quotes to from last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'd have to go back as well.
Exactly. What was it called again? So, but again, not that I want to like mess with the IMDb system, but I think it'd just be fun to hide little Easter eggs, even if temporary, or even just get a flat out stop doing this, please, from them would be great. Any kind of something to let us know that Daddy IMDb is watching. So unfortunately, Begotten, we can't change it to the Carl saga that we would like to. Charles, not Carl. Charles. That's right. Sorry, my bad. Sorry,
Can't even
Charles.
remember the character's name that we created.
I knew it was Krzle.
That's true. Yeah, like you said, if anybody listening knows anything, or if you have submitted an IMDb plot synopsis or trivia or anything, if you've submitted something to IMDb and you have heard something from them, either confirming they're posting it or denying your submission, send us an email and let us know how it went and what you did.
What's the email address again?
wwtcapod@protonmail.com.
There you go. All right. So now, I just wanted to get that. So now we will no longer update Begotten Saga unless something amazing happens.
Yes.
But yeah, we haven't heard anything, not even a denial. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we hadn't forgot about that. Okay.
All 4 listeners, we're keeping you in the loop.
That's right.
As much as we can.
We see you out there. Okay. Now I'm ready to get into the show proper.
Okay. And we are going to kick off our recording session in the year 2024 with a film that comes from the year 1992.
Ooh. Best year ever.
And your IMDb synopsis reads as follows. When a simple jewelry heist goes horribly wrong, the surviving criminals begin to suspect that one of them is a police informant.
Oh, man. I know. Okay, listen. We're going to have merch eventually, I'm sure. And one of the merchandise things is just going to be, that sounds familiar. I know it's going to be that. But that really does sound familiar. I feel like I've seen this recently.
Yeah.
Man, say that again for me. 1992.
Yep. When a simple jewelry heist goes horribly wrong, the surviving criminals begin to suspect that one of them is a police informant.
Surviving criminals, so horribly wrong. Okay. 1992, when a simple jewelry heist goes horribly wrong, the surviving criminals begins to... one of the surviving criminals begins to suspect... No, just the surviving criminals begins to suspect that one of them is a police informant.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Next one, please.
Okay. Your second one from today is also going to come from the year 1992.
Oh my gosh, doubleheader.
Correct.
I will keep you separate.
Your IMDb plot description for this one reads as follows. A uniformed police officer is recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug smuggling ring looking to expand its operation.
That also sounds familiar. That doesn't feel familiar. That just sounds familiar. 1992.
Yep.
A police officer. What was it again? DEA undercover.
A uniformed police officer is recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug smuggling ring looking to expand its operation.
Is there such thing as an ununiformed officer?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to ask. Thank you for that information. I'm glad you're on top of this.
Yeah. Just confidently answer yes or no. And that's all I'll do.
And I'll just take it. I'll just take whatever you say. Yes. Okay. So specifically a uniformed officer is
not casual.
He's not undercover, and he's not off duty. He's still in uniform. He's asked by the DEA to become a drug informant. Sorry, I forgot everything after you said uniformed.
Yeah. He's recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug smuggling ring looking to expand its operation.
Okay, he's recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug ring looking to expand its operation. 1992, correct. Uniformed officer. Okay, next.
Alrighty. With that, your third of the three movies tonight is going to come from the year 1987. And the synopsis from IMDb reads as follows. An undercover cop infiltrates a gang of thieves who plan to rob a jewelry store.
Oh my gosh, this could be like the first movie. All right, sorry. Say this one all over again, even the year, because I wasn't even listening to that.
Yeah. It's from the year 1987.
87, okay.
Yep. And it is an undercover cop infiltrates a gang of thieves who plan to rob a jewelry store.
87, undercover cop, gang of thieves who are robbing. He plans to infiltrate.
An undercover cop infiltrates a gang of thieves.
Yeah. Infiltrates a gang of thieves who plan to rob a jewelry store. Okay.
Correct.
I sense a theme. A small theme. Okay.
Yeah.
1992.
Mm-hmm.
A simple jewelry heist goes horribly wrong, and the surviving criminals, begin to suspect that one of them is an undercover officer.
Correct.
The other 1992 film was a uniformed police officer is recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug ring who is planning on expanding.
Correct.
And then 1987,
Yes.
an undercover police officer infiltrates a gang who plans a jewelry heist.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, if these aren't the same in my mind. All right. Okay. Yeah. I'm ready for the titles to just bend me over and make me cry. Okay. Go ahead, bud.
Alrighty. Your first title is going to be Deep Cover.
Oh, fuck off. Okay. Deep Cover. All right. I bet it's not the uniformed officer one. Watch it be that one. Okay. So Deep Cover. So, okay. Well, okay. So the simple jewelry heist that goes horribly wrong, in which the surviving criminals suspect one of the members to be an undercover officer, it does not necessarily mean that one of the criminals is an undercover officer.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just a suspicion. That's just, yeah. Whereas the other two definitely deal with infiltration and undercover operations. So I have to narrow it down between the DEA one or just the undercover officer one. Okay. What's the next title?
Alrighty. Your next title is going to be...
Deep Cover. Okay.
Yeah. Your second title is going to be Reservoir Dogs.
Doesn't sound familiar at all.
I want to say, sidebar really fast. One of the things I was most excited for with this one is to pick Reservoir Dogs, which, if I recall correctly, you had said you've seen pretty well all of the movie. You've just never sat down and watched it beginning to end.
Exactly.
In one sitting.
I've seen probably like 80% of the movie in pieces, but never have sat down and like watched it the whole thing.
I thought it would be so funny, personally, to be able to pick Reservoir Dogs and you not know which one it is.
Okay, well, you're welcome, I guess. I'm pretty sure I know which one of these it is. I think I narrowed it down already by saying that one of the just because the criminals think one of them is a cop doesn't necessarily mean that one of them is. I'm going to just float that idea because I don't think there's a DEA aspect to Reservoir Dogs, and I'm pretty sure. Oh man, see, this is just me doubting myself now. From what I've seen of the clips over the years, I'm pretty sure that there's not like an initial part of it where it's about someone being undercover. Is there? Maybe there is. Okay, give me the third title and that'll resolve that. Reservoir Dogs. I have to try to remember that one. Reservoir Dogs. Okay, got it.
It's very difficult.
Yeah,
like this obscure movie. Your third title is going to be City on Fire.
I've heard that too. City on Fire. Oh man. Deep Cover was the first one.
Yes.
Reservoir Dogs was the second title, and City on Fire was the third one. Oh, okay. So Reservoir Dogs, I'm pretty confident, is the first synopsis you gave me. 1992, simple jewelry heist gone wrong. Surviving members think that one of them is an undercover police officer. Because I don't think Reservoir Dogs is 87. I'm pretty sure it's not. That seems way too early. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that. But now Deep Cover and City on Fire. I've heard of City on Fire, but I don't think I've ever seen it. And then Deep Cover, just it's such a kind of generic sounding title that I don't think I've ever seen that or heard of it. Deep Cover. Okay. So I'm left with the other 1992 film, which is hold on. It was the one that was I got it. It's coming. It's right here. It was the DEA one. It was the uniformed police officer. There it is. The uniformed police officer is recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug ring that plans on expanding.
Yes.
Is it City on Fire? Deep Cover. I bet that's City on Fire. Because that sounds like it'd be a 92 title for some reason. And then Deep Cover just sounds like late 80s, let's slap it on a VHS and put it in Blockbuster type title. You know, you're walking through the aisles. I don't want to have to mark it any more than just you see the cover and I know what this movie is going to be about, so let me rent it type thing, right? So Deep Cover, I think, is the 1987 undercover police officer infiltrates a gang who plans a jewelry heist. Oh, man, I'm not super confident with that because I know I've heard City on Fire before. I'm pretty much sticking Reservoir Dogs. I think I have locked in, and I think you did me a kindness by giving me that. Now, if I'm wrong on that, Jesus Christ, let's cancel me forever. And this is the last episode. Like, watch that happen, and then like we just never hear this show again because I'm wrong. That's how much confidence I have in myself.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. It's not really. See, like in previous episodes, in my head, there's always a battle. There's like an intellectual argument that I keep having where I go back and forth, I flip flop, just because there's like a little bit of doubt that causes me to kind of second guess or whatever, triple guess, quadruple guess, whatever. But in this case, I really don't have anything that makes me want to flip City on Fire and Deep Cover. I could just be wrong on those, but nothing makes me feel like they're the opposite of what I'm saying. So I don't want to say it's like confidence. I just think it's like lack of doubt. if that makes sense. So yeah. I'm going to go ahead and lock in all three. The first one being Reservoir Dogs, 1992, a simple jewelry heist gone wrong. The surviving criminals begin to suspect that one of them is an undercover police officer. The other 1992 film is City on Fire, where a uniformed police officer is recruited by the DEA to infiltrate a drug ring that is looking to expand. And Deep Cover is 1987. An undercover police officer infiltrates a gang who plans a jewelry heist. Did I... Please, just all I want to know is that I got Reservoir Dogs right, and then I'm just going to be okay with being wrong elsewhere.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that, but you did get one of the three correct.
Oh, God. Please, just let me switch the two. Okay, So I'm sticking with Reservoir Dogs. Oh my god. I'm an idiot. That's what I am. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm sticking with it. I don't care. I'm sticking with it. Okay. So that means that City on Fire is actually the City on Fire sounds really familiar. And I know you're going to tell me that it's probably like Criterion or something like that, or it has like an actor this is like his first movie, and then all of a sudden he became like really big or whatever.
One of these is in the Criterion collection.
Yeah, I wonder which one. So I'm going to say that Deep Cover is the 1992 film where a uniformed officer is recruited by DEA, infiltrate drugs, expansion. That one. And then City on Fire then is the 87 movie. Oh, please help me. I'm locking that in. That's what it is. And I'm going to go cock the gun.
The visual of you like hunched over your desk right now with like your hand on your forehead.
My hand is on my head, on my forehead, like rubbing a hole through my brain. I'm on edge because at any moment my chair could break and I could fall to the floor. And this is a high chair, by the way. So I'm up pretty tall right now. So there's also like that constant fear. It's almost I've never been in a dunk tank, but that's what this probably feels like. Where like I feel like as soon as you tell me that I got Reservoir Dogs wrong, my chair's gonna break. So please just throw the ball. Just let's get this over with.
Okay. After making those two switches, you officially have 3 out of 3.
Oh, thank God.
So you did get Reservoir Dogs. You can rest easy.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that it was 1992. Okay, so I want to hear some info on these. I really want to hear some info on City on Fire because I thought it was a 92 movie for some reason. I felt like it was. But again, like nothing was shouting out at me to like switch those when I initially said the wrong ones.
Okay, yeah. So, I don't have a ton of info as far as trivia, but that's fine. So, City on Fire from 1987 is from director Ringo Lam. It is a Hong Kong kind of action crime thriller type of movie.
Right.
Starring Chow Yun-fat.
Never heard of him.
Right. He's a nobody. He kind of disappeared right after this movie. It shouldn't be known for it because it is a very good movie on its own, but it is best known for being very clearly inspiration for Reservoir Dogs. It is like the same essential plot pretty much.
Maybe that's I think where I've heard of this is you've talked about this before.
Yes, I have. There are even exact, whether he admits it or not, there are exact shots from the movie that are in Reservoir Dogs. City on Fire is very, very good. It is not streaming anywhere that I could find. In America, there's not really a physical release for it. I didn't double check it, but I know in the past it had been uploaded on YouTube, and that was how I had watched it previously in the past, and with English subtitles on it. Very good movie. I don't know why it doesn't have an American release, really. From 1992, Deep Cover is directed by Bill Duke, and it stars Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
it is...
That's a cast.
The one piece of trivia that I have for you off the top of my head for Deep Cover is that it is the final film where Lawrence Fishburne is credited as Larry Fishburne.
Oh, Larry. Larry
Yeah.
Fishburne.
It is a very good movie. Jeff Goldblum plays a bad guy, and it is wonderful seeing him kind of out of character a little bit.
That is interesting. Yeah, I was wondering,
like a fucked up, like coked out villain. It's fantastic.
So Jeff Goldblum. Okay, just me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then finally, not really anything to say. Reservoir Dogs, 1992.
Is it good?
First movie from Quentin Tarantino. It is one of my personal, probably top 5 all-time favorite movies ever made. Nothing that can really be said about it that hasn't been said about it already.
Nice. Yeah, that was so. A little behind the scenes. Thomas has been wary about including or potentially including films that he knows that I am at least aware of, because he's always afraid that he's going to say something and then I'm going to like instantly know it or whatever. And I've told him week after week, dude, like you can just say any synopsis and I'm probably still not going to get it, because that's just how my brain works. So I'm glad that you took that advice and you actually did it, because once you said the title, it was obvious. But you reading the synopsis, I was just like, man, that sounds familiar. But I was not thinking Reservoir Dogs until you said Reservoir Dogs.
Behind the scenes on my end is I picked these, and the order that I was going to read them to you was totally dependent on how you reacted. Because I knew I wanted to start with Reservoir Dogs, and if I read that synopsis, and if it clicked in your head somehow, and you were like, this kind of sounds like Reservoir Dogs, if you would have said that, I would have done City on Fire next, which is the exact same synopsis, pretty much. And I was so excited to hear your reaction if you did say that, and then to hear the next one, it's the same thing. But since you did not react in that way, I went ahead and did Deep Cover second, so I made a gap in between them.
And I mean, okay, so like clearly like Reservoir Dogs and City on Fire have like a lot in common, right? Not to say that like they're exactly the same film, but they have a lot in common. But that just goes to show that like these synopsi can be worded in ways that they do sound like other films. And especially because, again, these are IMDb synopsis, so they might just be written by somebody who just, barely watched the movie or doesn't, convey what they did see very well to words. So so again, I don't know if the order would have really even have mattered in that point, because they are very similar, but I don't know if I was more familiar with Reservoir Dogs, if even I would have like said that right out the gate, just because that would have been way too confident on my end that early, and I know how that could have bit me in the butt, Yeah. So but that was good. That was. I'm glad that you chose something just to fuck with me. Okay, so now I have to. We have two more processes here, two more games. Yes. We have to do the IMDb rating, and then also you have a quote from one of these that I have to match with the movie.
Why, yes, Will, I sure do.
Oh, good. Which one should we do first, Thomas?
We'll do the IMDb rankings first and get that over with. I will say that this is the first time out of any of the episodes we've done, 2 of them are tied.
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. Okay. Oh, man. I mean, do I just go with the obvious and say City on Fire and Reservoir Dogs are tied? Or did Reservoir Dogs have a different rating because it's the more seen American version? Oh. Like maybe Deep Cover is just like the outlier where it's a really good movie. This is tough. So wait, but you also didn't say if they're tied for first. So it could be 2 movies that are tied for second.
Could be.
Okay. So let's go with just based on this is really just blind stupidity is what it's based on, but I'm going to say it's based on the fact that more people have seen Quentin Tarantino's films, that it's his first film, and it was a home run, we'll say, for some. Controversial.
Yeah, one might say so, yeah.
Controversial statement, I know. And again, I'm going to say that fewer people have seen City on Fire, and it's a foreign film, and they maybe have seen it after Reservoir Dogs, just because Reservoir Dogs shone a light on this film in a way, and maybe they're going to compare it to Reservoir Dogs. So I'm going to say Reservoir Dogs is number 1, and then City on Fire and a Deep Cover are tied for second.
All right, and then it doesn't really matter, but just for funds, did you want to guess on a?
Oh, like the range? Yeah. Okay. So I mean, so let's say is Reservoir Dogs in the 8 territory, 8.2, and then we'll say that City on Fire and Deep Cover are like 7.7. I think this is a tight grouping.
Man, you're usually pretty good at guessing the ranges on these.
Usually, yeah. Not really.
Reservoir Dogs does sit with an 8.3.
Oh, I was so close.
Yes, and Deep Cover and City on Fire, both at the time of recording, have a 7.0.
Okay.
Yes.
That's actually lower than I didn't think that City on Fire would be that low. I mean, it's not low. It's 7's good, but I just as far as like the gap between it and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Yeah, I did want to do a quick mini sidebar really fast about Reservoir Dogs and City on Fire, because one thing Tarantino gets a lot of shit for from people. I think I've seen a lot of people say that he's unoriginal in quotation marks.
Right.
He borrows a lot or
Yeah.
steals a lot from other stuff.
Right.
And this one is kind of one of the most damning examples, because there's literally exact shots, angles, like everything from City on Fire that are in Reservoir Dogs. But I did want to just make a really quick statement that what is fantastic is, while he may very obviously borrow a lot of things from other movies, he still is like the best at using them in a way that makes them very much his own. Whereas the plot, you read the plot for Reservoir Dogs and City on Fire, and they sound pretty much identical, but they're very different movies, because you have City on Fire pretty much takes you through. Chow Yun-fat plays the police officer in that movie, and you pretty much watch him like get the assignment and then go undercover, plan the heist with the criminals, go through the heist, and then afterwards, yes, and then Reservoir Dogs, you never see the heist. It starts off after the heist has been complete, and then everybody brings up, I think somebody here is an undercover cop.
Right.
We don't know who it is. And then halfway through the movie, you find out who the undercover cop is.
Well,
and so it's a completely different perspective. It's,
yes, definitely.
Yeah, a completely different version of the same kind of movie.
There's an argument, a whole discussion to be had, which I'm sure someone has done this, so we're not going to, about Tarantino and his originality and air quotes stealing, borrowing, whatever, from other films. But let's also say that at the time, early 90s, it wasn't as popular as it is now, or customary, I should say, as it is now, to make American versions of foreign films, right? So like the idea that a wide audience would ever get to see an American release of City on Fire, especially in early 1990s, was very far chance. Like, that wasn't going to happen. So I think the argument could be made that Quentin wasn't necessarily stealing just to, make a movie easily. I think it was more like he's showing something to an American audience that they otherwise wouldn't get to see. Mm-hmm. So he's taking these angles, these framings, the scenes, things that might be shot for shot exact. I think he's just taking them and be like, hey, look, this is, something that was already. Now, should he maybe credit that? I don't know. That's up for debate. But I think that's maybe the mindset, right? He loved the movie so much that he's kind of either intentionally or unintentionally paying sort of a respect to it. But then also, like you said, a different perspective. So I've always kind of had this idea I've always wanted to go and take like the MST3K, the Mystery Science Theater 3000 catalog, And because a lot of, well, not a lot, all of those films are crap, right? Safe to say that's why they're on the show. And I've always wanted to take those movies that were crap and dissect them and figure out either a different perspective or a different way to tell that same story. Now, I'm not trying to say that City on Fire is crap by any means. I'm just saying that like that is something that one can do is you can take a story regardless of quality, and also regardless of originality. You can take a story and be like, okay, like, can we tell this a different way? Or can we, and I think it's easy to say, oh, well, you're just copying. And I think people who say that don't understand the intense creative process that would still take place in the world of let's just take the story and look at it differently. Like you still have to develop characters and dialogue and scene choices. There's still a lot of work
things
that goes in there.
Quentin's not good at.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's not like you're going to remake Psycho shot for shot and then add, Vince Vaughn masturbating in the shower just to make it your own, right? like we're not doing that. There is a lot of work that went into, something, even if you want to say is a copy of a foreign film. There's still a lot of creativity going on here. So yeah, I don't know. People are going to argue either way.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly just based on, do you like Quentin Tarantino or not?
Right.
And I'm not really a huge fan of the guy. I like some of his work. You're a massive fan. You're a devotee, which, hey, well deserved. The guy's great at what he does, right? But I'm also one of the people just like, I respect what he does, but I'm not going to cancel all my plans to go see opening night of whatever he does next, right? I'll wait to see it whenever it comes out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not here to like apologize for him either, but I also know that like this stuff takes a lot of work, and even if you are heavily borrowing from other films, you still have to piece this thing together in a coherent story. That is still a talent. So yeah, just to say that, like, again, go watch the remake of Psycho, and then watch the bonus features where they literally say we had a TV on set when we were doing. That is what you're, the people who are arguing against Quentin Tarantino. That's what they're saying Quentin's doing, and he's not. Okay, so that was our little sidebar.
Yeah. Yes. And then we'll move right along, a seamless transition, if you will.
No editing involved at all in that.
Directly, literally no editing. We'll transition directly into our segment where I have taken the trouble to click on IMDb to one of these three movies that we just went over.
I feel like these all need, each of these segments need like their own little theme song.
Maybe we'll get there at some point.
Quote time.
Quote. All right, so
no editing at all.
I have gone to one of the three movies that we did in this episode that we covered, and I have pulled a quote from the film's IMDb page, and I'm going to read Will the quote
in character. In a
character of my choosing.
It could be the character from the movie or not. Who knows?
You never know. I'm going to read this quote. Will's going to guess which movie the quote came from. And the quote, which I have pulled from IMDb for this week.
Quote time.
Quote. The quote reads as follows. Quote. A man has two things in this world. His world and his balls.
Oh, God. Okay.
Or is that three things?
Was that three things? Sorry, I cut you off there. I was thrown off guard. Okay, is this from one of the few scenes that I have not seen from Reservoir Dogs?
A man has two things in this world. His world and his balls. Or is that three things?
Or is that three things?
End quote. Yes.
Man. Is that a coked out Jeff Goldblum? Or is that Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs?
Or is that one of the characters in City on Fire?
I mean, it could be it could be something that's like slightly mistranslated, since you are reading an English version of this.
Hey, do you know who Mr. Pink is? Which one is it?
Is
Which
that
actor?
Shimmy?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I got that right. Okay. Don't ask me any other characters, though. I could see Tarantino writing that. A man has two things in this world. What was it again? His balls and what else?
Yeah. It's a man has two things in this world. His world and his balls. Or is that three things?
So they say world twice. That doesn't seem
Yes.
very Tarantino-esque. I think Tarantino would have had better word choice there. So I'm going to get rid of
that's a good
Reservoir.
compliment.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Reservoir Dogs right off the bat. Unless that's just a shitty line from Reservoir Dogs. Which I don't know if there is any. So
That's an idiot that said it.
yeah, true. Man, that really... I'm not going to be surprised if this is Tarantino, but I'm going to go ahead and say this is Deep Cover. I'm locking it in.
Okay. Well, man, you hit the nail on the head. Jeff Goldblum in Deep Cover says that line.
That felt like a cooked out Jeff Goldblum, where he kind of like doubts himself. Wait, or is that three things? Yeah. Okay, that's what that felt like.
Yes, that's great.
Was that your Jeff Goldblum, by the way?
Yes, that was my Jeff Goldblum.
Because I was going to ask you if you could redeliver that in
just
Jeff
me
Goldblum.
reading it like in my regular voice.
Yeah,
pretty much.
your slightly tired, old Western guy voice. I was trying to think of what a coked out Jeff Goldblum would sound like. I don't even know if I can even do a Jeff Goldblum. Really, I'm not good with impressions at all. So
I am not going to try to do Jeff Goldblum.
Nope.
No. I mean, you just pretty much talk fastly, right? Like quickly.
I guess. I mean, but he has like that sound that you know that's Jeff Goldblum right away. Because he kind of does this thing where he'll talk real fast and then he gets to like this plateau where he'll like slow down and then he gets really fast again. And then of course I don't sound like him at all, but he has that cadence where he'll get really fast, and then he'll like peak and then like free fall for a few seconds. Okay. I don't know where we're going to go from this.
I'm sitting in the car by myself, talking to myself.
Oh, wait, do that again. Do that again. That was great. That was good. That was a good attempt, at least. Do that again.
I'm all right.
No, come on. What was that? You said something about sitting in a car talking to yourself?
Yeah, that was Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's right. He does say that, yeah.
Where everybody gets out to see the Triceratops or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And now I'm sitting here by myself, talking to myself.
Okay, the first time was a little better than the second time, but I could hear it.
Sure.
I got the Goldblum there. Yeah, he has like that like really speedy, and then he like I said he like gets to a point where his brain has to catch up. I guess he has to like pause for a second, then he goes back into it. Okay, so for this week, we'll pay homage to the Tarantino way. First, I want you to pick a movie in which we should respectfully pay homage to by recreating a scene with a coked out Jeff Goldblum. since you do his voice so well. So let's first pick our...
Yeah, I'm really good.
Sorry to put you on the spot there. Your only line's going to be, I'm sitting in my car talking to myself. That'll be the scene.
And now I'm sitting here by myself, talking to myself.
That's really good. That's really good. Listeners chime in if you think that was a decent... I'm not saying it's a spitting image, but that was... I could see Jeff Goldblum saying that.
Get flooded with emails any day now.
Get a cease and desist from Goldblum's lawyer for
That'd
impersonation.
Be amazing. That'd be great. Yeah.
Celebrity and voices impersonated. We'll just say that and be safe. Okay. So first we have to pick a film. What's a foreign film or even a lesser known film that you think needs either like a redo or an American version of? Like, what's one that's lacking a modern redux or an American version? I mean, that's a hard question to ask because a lot of foreign films are good as they are. If you were to be, and this is your dream, I know. If you were to be Quentin Tarantino, what's one movie that you're like, oh man, this really needs to be remade? And then we'll come at it from a different perspective.
Sometime last year, I for the first time watched the directorial debut of Clint Eastwood, his first movie, Play Misty For Me, and
I haven't seen this.
I remember watching it. And
when did this come out?
71 is when Play Misty For Me came out. I had watched Play Misty For Me last year for the first time. A 4K came out for it, and I bought it. And
so what's it about?
It is about Clint Eastwood is in the movie himself.
Ooh.
He's the star, and he plays a radio DJ.
Okay.
And he gets every single night that he is on the radio, he gets a phone call from this woman who asks him to play this song. She always calls in and says, "Play Misty For Me," and he plays the song for her on the radio. And essentially, this woman begins stalking him, and she kind of confronts him, and they meet at a bar. He doesn't know who she is really at first, and they kind of hit it off, and he sleeps with her. But he wasn't looking for anything serious, pretty much, so he sleeps with her, and then he's like, oh,
That's
okay,
it.
well, and
Yeah.
he kind of blows her off, and she is like a psycho, and she is stalking him, and she starts terrorizing his life, and he has like a relationship with this woman, and this caller starts terrorizing them and like attacks this woman.
Holy shit.
And it progresses and progresses to where she tries to kill him, essentially.
Sort of like almost like a spiritual ancestor in a way to like Misery.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, in a way, I could see that for sure.
Okay, so
So Jeff Goldblum.
okay, so maybe Jeff Goldblum doesn't involved in this. But I was going to ask you, like, what is the other perspective in the Quentin Tarantino way that we could look at the story of Play Misty and make our own film? So what if the story is that when this song was recorded, like that's where the story, right? And this woman who in the story for Play Misty, it becomes this psychotic stalker type person. She has to have some kind of like deep connection to the recording. So maybe she was like sat in on the record. Maybe she was like in the sound booth and like really in love with the sound engineer who you know, and like I don't know, maybe she like her first sexual encounter ever was while they were, you know, it was just the two of them and Play Misty, they were cutting it or remixing it or whatever, and it was like, you know, just on the background, right? So really it has like nothing to do with anything that she cares about. It just kind of brings her back to that moment in her life, right? But I think Jeff Goldblum should be.
What do you think of this song?
I'm just in a sound booth by myself, talking to myself. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So I think we have a little bit of a seedling here. We just got to foster this a little bit more. So this is
he the sound engineer guy?
I think he has to
like
be,
the
right?
producer of the track or something.
Yeah. Like he's like the producer or like the sound engineer, somebody who's like, you know, again, I don't think she has any actual, at least in our version, because you don't recall for Play Misty if she does, but in our version, she doesn't have any actual like hard connection to the actual song. It's more that song takes her back to a time in her life, you know, that was perfect or whatever, right? And she just keeps trying to go back to that.
Where it's just her and Jeff
her and Jeff,
the mixing board.
and the tape, the reel-to-reel just going, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it was kind of just in the background.
I think these guys are pretty good.
I can't tell who you sound like. Like there's a little bit of Jeff Goldblum there, but then also like someone else. There's another actor,
Like Robert Downey Jr. or something.
maybe. Yeah. So okay. So a young Jeff Goldblum, and who plays the lady, the younger version of the psycho woman.
We'll do Jessica Harper from Suspiria.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I could. No, that's kind of cool. Yeah. So our movie is about this woman, and something has to break in her, right? And this is towards the end of the film, or maybe like the midpoint, 2/3 of the way through. Something has to break that makes this magical moment in the first act of our version kind of be like the anchor to her sanity. Okay? So what happens to her? Does sound producer Jeff Goldblum, does he like OD on coke? Maybe? I just want to get more coked out Jeff Goldblum.
Well, we can make it it'll be a little bit less funny, but yeah, he's like...
Oh wait, this is hilarious you're talking about? Okay, go ahead. I don't want to ruin the comedy here. Go ahead.
So yeah, no, there's a lot of laughter going on.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, if he
How dark were you going to go?
If he gets coked up or shoots heroin, whatever the fuck it is that he's doing or whatever, and he does OD, but he like beats the shit out of her first.
Okay. No, I say that that he's abusive, right? Like she falls for him, and then because of that first encounter, she thought he really loved her, right? Like there was like some kind of deeper connection there, but really he's just like this, playboy type person, right? He doesn't, so we find out that he's actually a jerk and an asshole, and I think that what snaps is that she knows he has a drug habit, and he attacks her more violent one time, like one night, and she then causes him to OD. Like she's the one who does it, right? Because this kicks off her her ability to do harm to others, right? As justification for ruining her perfect life. So I think like you said, some kind of a sexual assault happens, some kind of violent attack happens as his way of just being him. She's taken it multiple times over the course of this film, but she stayed with it because he kept promising her a better future or whatever, whoever sang the next song, he was going to produce their album, and there was something that was good was going to happen. But that fell through, which caused him to freak out, which caused him to beat her up again. And then she
American sweetheart, Jeff Goldblum.
I would love to see him be abusive, yeah. Right? Look at me in this room by myself, beating you. So then she snaps, and I think it'd be poetic, if not stupid, that whenever she causes him to OD, like he injects or whatever, if suddenly on the radio plays this new hit by insert group here called Play Misty. So this song kind of bookends her feeling on top, right? So that's why we can fast forward to, or not fast forward, but see this from the other perspective of her calling this disc jockey and having him play the song all the time, is because she keeps bringing her back, basically, And then again, there's kind of a falling in love sort of thing on her perspective. And he's just like, fuck it, I'll just, and that again takes her back to that moment whenever the last guy did this, and then she starts going, yeah, okay, I like that. It's dark, but I mean, it's not necessarily it has to be funny, but I like it. Yeah. I like the idea of Jeff Goldblum being abusive on camera.
Yeah, that's kind of against type.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to see him try to do that. There has to be a movie out there where he plays dark, right?
I'm sure. I mean, he's kind of dark and deep cover for sure, but he's not like, he definitely wasn't like hitting women.
But he's still also like Jeff Goldblum, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's still very entertaining to watch, and it's not like you hate his character or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Jeff Goldblum play somebody that I end up hating.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wait, first, before we go, what are we going to call our film?
Play Gold... Oh.
Play Goldblum?
Play Goldblum.
I was going to say record Misty, but I like Play Goldblum because people would be like, "Wait, isn't that the guy? What does that have to do with any of this?" Play Goldblum. Sure. There it is. All right. What was that called again?
At first, I thought you were asking what to call the episode, and I was thinking "Play Goldblum For Me."
Oh no, that's what we're going to call the episode now.
But so yeah, I was like, I hadn't heard what you were asking before my brain was already ready to say what it was wanting to say.